Jason Cooper was a paramedic stationed on Helios 9, a small human colony on the edge of space. It was a quiet place, full of dust, rocks, and wind that never stopped blowing. He didn't mind the peace. Most days were slow, just fixing broken equipment or helping miners with small injuries. But that day was different. An alarm woke Jason early in the morning. A ship had crash-landed just a few miles outside the colony. Jason grabbed his gear and jumped into the transport rover with two other medics. The skies above were still dark, stars barely fading with the dawn. They reached the crash site quickly. The ship looked alien, unlike anything Jason had seen. Its body was sleek and silver, and strange blue symbols ran across its side. Smoke rose from a hole in its side. Jason felt nervous, but duty pushed him forward. Inside the wreck, they found only one survivor, a girl. She was tall and thin, her skin a pale silver. Her hair was long and blue, tangled and wet with blood. She had deep cuts and burns across her body. Her breathing was weak. "We need to move fast," Jason said. They carried her back to the medical bay in silence. She was still alive, but just barely. The doctors tried everything. Her blood pressure dropped, and her heartbeat slowed. The machines could not read her properly. Her body rejected every medicine. Jason stood by, watching her slip away. He felt helpless. Then he noticed something. Her blood, leaking from her wounds, was not completely alien. It was red, like human blood, just a little brighter. An idea struck him. "What if we try a blood transfusion?" he asked. "She's not human," one of the doctors said. "That could kill her." "She's dying anyway," Jason replied. "We have to try." They argued, but in the end they agreed. Jason sat on the chair, rolled up his sleeve, and let the machine draw his blood. They filtered it and slowly pushed it into the alien girl's veins. At first, nothing happened. Then her chest rose. Her breathing grew stronger. The machines beeped with new energy. Her body accepted the blood. Her wound stopped bleeding. Jason watched in wonder. "It worked," he whispered. Over the next few hours, the girl remained unconscious, but her body slowly healed. Her skin stopped bleeding. The burns faded. Her body grew warm. Jason stayed by her side. He didn't know why, but he felt drawn to her. Maybe it was because he saved her. Maybe it was something more. When she finally opened her eyes, it was night again. Her eyes were bright violet, glowing slightly in the dark. She looked around in fear. Her hands grabbed the bed, and her body tensed. Jason stepped forward slowly. "It's okay," he said gently. "You're safe now." She stared at him. Her lips moved, but no words came out. Finally, in a soft, broken voice, she said, "You not an Aryan?" "No," Jason said. "I'm human. My name is Jason." She blinked. "I am Alara." She tried to sit up, but winced in pain. Jason helped her. She looked down at her arm where the blood transfusion had been. "You give me life," she said. Jason smiled. "Yeah, I guess I did." She reached out and touched his hand. Her fingers were soft and cold. A strange warmth spread through Jason's body, like her touch lit something inside him. He didn't know what it was, but it felt important. The doctors came in and checked her. They were shocked. "Her cells are changing," one of them said. "It's like her body is adapting to human DNA." Jason didn't understand the science. He just knew she was alive. And that made him feel something he hadn't felt in a long time. Alara looked at him again. "We are linked," she said, "by blood." Jason didn't know what that meant, but he knew one thing. His life had changed forever. And deep inside, he felt it was only the beginning. Alara stayed in the medical room for many days. Her body healed quickly, more quickly than anyone had thought possible. Jason visited her every day. He brought her food, water, and even simple things like books and music. She was learning fast. Each day, she spoke more English. Her voice was soft, her words careful. She told Jason about her home, far away from Earth. Her people, the Andarians, lived on floating cities above clouds. They had ships that moved like birds and light that sang like songs. Jason listened with wide eyes. He had never heard anything like it. Elara asked many questions, too. She wanted to know about Earth, about people, about feelings. She looked at pictures of animals and flowers with wonder. She liked music. One day, Jason played her an old song from Earth. It was slow and full of feeling. Her eyes filled with tears. "This sound," she said, "feels like the stars are singing." They laughed often. Jason showed her how to eat with a fork, how to use a spoon, how to drink tea. Elara showed him how to speak simple words in her language. Their days became brighter. The room that once felt cold and empty now felt warm. But something strange began to happen. The doctors ran tests on Elara every day. They told Jason that her body was changing. Her cells were not just healing. They were adapting. She was becoming stronger, faster, more alert. Her eyes now glowed in the dark. Her skin had a soft shine. "It is your blood," Elara said. "My body has taken it in. It changed me." Jason didn't know what to say. He felt both amazed and worried. He had only wanted to save her. He never thought it would cause such a big change. One morning, a ship arrived at the colony. It was large and silent. It had the same blue symbols as Alara's crashed ship. The leaders of the colony said the Andarians had come for her. Jason was in the room when they came. Two tall beings dressed in shining robes stepped inside. They looked at Elara with surprise, and then with anger. "Princess Elara," one of them said, "you must return." Elara stood up. Her back was straight, and her face was calm. "I cannot go," she said. "I owe my life to this human." "You have been changed," the other said. "Your body is no longer pure." Jason looked at Elara. She did not look afraid. She looked strong. "My life is my own," she said, "and I choose to stay." The Andarians did not take this well. They left the room without another word. Jason could feel the tension in the air. Later, the leaders of the colony met with the Andarians. Jason was not allowed inside. He waited outside, heart beating fast. When the meeting ended, one of the doctors pulled him aside. "They want to take her away," the doctor said. "They say she is no longer fit to be a princess. But they also fear what she has become." Jason went back to Elara. She was sitting by the window, looking at the stars. "They are afraid," she said quietly. "Afraid of what I am now." "I don't care what they say," Jason told her. "You saved my life too. You gave me hope. You belong here, if that's what you want." Elara smiled. "I feel something when I am near you, like our spirits are tied. I did not want to go." Jason felt the same. He didn't want her to leave either. There was something between them that was hard to explain. Not just friendship, not just gratitude, something deeper. That night, there was an attempt to take Elara by force. A group of unknown figures broke into the medical center. Jason fought them off the best he could. Elara used a strange energy from her hands to protect them. The attackers fled. After the attack, the colony leaders became more serious. They placed guards near Elara's room. They didn't trust the Andarians now. Jason sat beside Elara once more. "We need to figure out what this bond really means," he said. Elara nodded. "Yes, something inside me calls to you. My blood sings when you are close." They knew they had no more time to wait. The bond was real. The danger was real. But they were not afraid. Together, they would face whatever came next. Jason and Elara were kept under close watch after the attack. Guards were placed at the door, and only a few people were allowed to visit. But even with all the rules and danger, they felt closer than ever. Elara's body continued to change. She could now move faster than any human. Her skin had healed completely, and her eyes could see in the dark. The doctors called it a miracle, but also a mystery. No one had seen anything like it. One day, Elara touched the broken control panel. The lights blinked, and the panel turned on again. Jason saw it and asked how she did it. "I don't know," she said. "It just listened to me." Jason realized that whatever was happening to her, it was still growing. Her powers were getting stronger, and it all started after the blood transfusion. The scientists began running more tests. They found traces of Jason's DNA inside Elara's cells. But it wasn't just there. It was a part of her now, mixed in, changing her. "You are becoming something new," Jason said. "Not just Anarian, not just human. Something in between." Elara looked at him. "And you? Do you feel anything strange?" Jason shook his head. "Not really. Maybe just tired sometimes." But that wasn't the whole truth. At night, Jason had strange dreams. He saw places he had never been, stars he didn't know, and voices speaking a language he could almost understand. He kept it to himself. Tension grew in the colony. More Anarian ships arrived. They didn't try to take Elara again, but they watched closely. They spoke in private with the colony leaders. Jason was not allowed near them. One evening, Elara and Jason were walking near the edge of the colony. It was quiet, the twin moons rising slowly in the sky. "They will not stop," Elara said. "They want me back. Or gone." "Then we leave," Jason said. "We find a new place. Somewhere safe." "Would you leave everything?" she asked. Jason looked at her. "If it means protecting you, yes." Elara nodded. "Then we must go." That night, they packed what they could. With the help of a kind engineer named Carla, they prepared a small scout ship. Carla had seen what Elara did and believed in her. "You're more than a princess now," Carla said. "You're proof that our two worlds can come together." Before sunrise, Jason and Elara slipped past the guards and flew into the sky. The stars opened before them. But they didn't get far. Not long after they left, their ship was chased by unknown fighters. The Andarians had seen them go. Elara took control of the ship. Her hands moved over the controls like she had done it all her life. Jason was amazed. "I remember," she said, "from the dreams, from the bond." They dodged and weaved through the asteroid belt nearby. But one of the fighters hit their ship. Smoke filled the cabin. Alarms rang. They landed hard on a nearby moon. The ship was damaged but not destroyed. They had to move fast. "They will come here," Elara said. "We need a plan," Jason replied. They ran into the caves nearby, hoping to hide. Inside, they found old ruins. Strange symbols covered the walls. Elara stopped. "This place? I know it." Jason looked around. "How?" "I don't know, but I feel it inside. It's like the place from my dreams." They moved deeper into the cave. In the center, they found a glowing pool of light. Elara stepped forward and touched the surface. A wave of energy moved through her. Jason felt it too. His chest burned for a moment, but then it stopped. "What is this?" he asked. "It is alive," Elara whispered. "Old and powerful. It accepts me. It accepts you." The walls began to glow. The symbols lit up one by one. A deep voice filled the cave, not from outside, but from inside their minds. Two have become one. The bond is true. The path forward is open. Jason looked at Elara. She looked brighter, stronger, and more sure of herself than ever before. Outside, the Anarian fighters landed, but the cave protected them. No one could enter. Elara turned to Jason. "We are more than what we were. The blood, the bond, the power. It was meant to happen." Jason believed her. Something great had begun. Jason sat near the glowing pool while Elara walked around the old cave. The symbols on the walls pulsed softly with light. The place felt warm and peaceful, even though they knew danger was still outside. "This place," Elara said, "was made by the ancients. My people forgot about it, but my dreams led me here." Jason nodded. He could still feel the energy in his body from the moment they touched the pool. It was not painful. It was comforting, like a soft voice whispering inside him. Elara placed her hand on the wall. A new doorway opened. Beyond was a room full of strange crystals and floating lights. At the center was a tall pillar with a glowing stone. "This is a memory core," Elara said. "It holds a past. Maybe it holds answers." She placed her hand on it. The lights around them began to move. The cave showed them images of old times when humans and Andarians met long ago. Peaceful meetings, shared knowledge, then silence. "We were connected once," Jason whispered. "Yes," Elara said, "but something broke that bond. My people hid the truth. Maybe they feared it. Suddenly, the ground shook. Outside, the Anarian ships began firing. They had found the entrance to the cave. Jason stood up. We have to leave. Elara shook her head. No, we have to finish this. She touched the stone again. The energy flowed through her. Her eyes glowed bright, and the light spread across her skin. Jason tried to reach for her, but the light pushed him back gently. It's okay, she said. This is the reason we were brought together. The cave ceiling started to open. A beam of light shot into the sky. The Anarian ships paused. The attackers were confused. Elara stepped out of the cave. Jason followed. She raised her hand, and the light followed her. The Anarian soldiers came forward, but stopped when they saw her. I am still your princess, Elara said, but I am more now. I carry the bond of two peoples. The soldiers looked unsure. Their leader stepped forward. He was tall and wore dark armor. You have changed, he said. You are not one of us anymore. Then maybe it is time for change, Elara replied. You feared the bond, but it made me stronger. It gave me life. Jason stood beside her. The light from the cave still surrounded them both. The leader looked at Jason with cold eyes. What did you do to her? I gave her blood, Jason said. I gave her hope. The soldiers raised their weapons. Elara did not move. She closed her eyes and whispered something in her language. The light around them grew brighter. A wave of energy pushed the soldiers back, but did not hurt them. Their weapons fell to ground. The leader took a step back, afraid. What are you? I am what comes next, Elara said. A bridge between two worlds. And I will not let fear decide our future. The soldiers did not attack again. They turned and left, their ships rising into the sky. Jason let out a deep breath. That was close. Elara smiled, but she looked tired. The power is strong, but I cannot hold it for long. We need help. They returned to their damaged ship. With effort, Jason fixed part of the system. The ship lifted off slowly. They flew to a nearby neutral planet, known for peace and safety. The people there welcomed them. Scientists, leaders, and healers came to learn what had happened. Jason and Elara told their story. The people listened. Some were amazed. Others were afraid. But no one could deny what they saw. You are the proof, one of the elders said, that humans and Andarians can be more than enemies. Elara nodded. The bond is real. It can heal more than wounds. It can heal history. Jason stayed by her side. He still felt the dreams at night, but now they were peaceful. He saw stars not yet reached and cities floating above oceans. He saw children with glowing eyes and warm smiles. He saw hope, but they knew more challenges would come. The Anarian rulers had not spoken their final word, and Earth had yet to learn the truth. We are not done, Elara said. This is only the beginning. Jason took her hand. Then we face it together. The stars waited for them, and they were ready. Jason and Elara spent many weeks on the neutral planet called Solara. It was a peaceful place with clean skies and calm people. The land was green, and the cities floated gently above the ground. They had never seen a place like this before. Elara's body was still changing. Her strength grew, but so did her need for rest. The energy inside her felt heavy sometimes, as if it wanted to grow beyond her control. The doctors there helped her learn to manage it. They called her condition a living fusion, part human, part Anarian, and something more. Jason noticed changes in himself, too. He could feel when Elara was near. Sometimes, he could even understand her thoughts without her speaking. They didn't talk about it much, but they both knew the bond between them was deep. One day, a warning came from the edge of the system. A sickness was spreading across colonies, human and Anarian. The illness was fast and deadly. No cure was found. Panic spread across the stars. The leaders of Solara asked for help. Many people were afraid to get involved, but Elara stepped forward. I can help, she said. My blood carries a bond. Maybe it carries the answer. Jason was worried. It almost killed you last time. Elara looked at him. This time I choose it, and I'm stronger now. Scientists worked carefully. They studied her blood and created a sample. A small group of sick people were treated with it. In just one day, they showed signs of healing. News spread quickly. More came to Solara, begging for help. Ilera gave more samples, but her body could only give so much. She grew weaker after each session. Jason stayed close, holding her hand, helping her walk. "You don't have to do this alone," he told her. "I am not alone," she said with a soft smile. The sickness slowed down, but then something went wrong. The virus changed. The first cure stopped working. People started getting sick again. The scientists were confused. "We need fresh samples," one of them said. "Stronger ones." Ilera nodded. "Then take all you need." Jason stopped them. "No, there has to be another way. If you take too much, she won't survive." Ilera touched his cheek. "If I die helping others, it's worth it." Jason shook his head. "Not to me." That night, Jason had another strange dream. He saw the cave again, the glowing pool, and the old voice. It spoke only one word this time: together. He woke up with a plan. Jason asked the scientists to take a sample from him, too. They were unsure, but he insisted. They tested his blood along with Ilera's. What they found surprised everyone. Together, their blood created a stronger cure. Not just one that fought the sickness, but one that stopped it completely. The cure was shared across colonies. People began to heal. Both humans and Andarians thanked them. For the first time in many years, there was peace between the two. But the price was high. Ilera fell into a deep sleep. Her body needed time to recover. Jason sat by her side every day, waiting. Weeks passed. He read to her, played her favorite songs, and talked even when she didn't respond. He believed she could hear him. Then one morning, as the sun rose, Ilera opened her eyes. "You didn't leave," she said softly. "Never." Jason replied with tears in his eyes. She reached for his hand. "We did it." Jason smiled. "We did it together." People from all over came to see them. They brought thanks, gifts, and offers. But Jason and Ilera wanted only peace. They asked to stay on Solara, to rest and heal. The leaders agreed. They were given a quiet place near the hills. It was small but beautiful. Flowers grew in the garden, and birds sang every morning. Ilera walked with Jason every evening, hand in hand. Her powers were still there, but calmer now. The bond between them was steady and warm. One evening, she looked at him and said, "I feel something new inside me." Jason looked at her with worry. "Are you okay?" She smiled. "Yes, I think it's life." Jason froze. "You mean?" Ilera nodded. "A child. Our child." Jason couldn't speak. His heart was too full. He held her close, feeling the truth of it. Their bond had saved a princess. Then it saved a world. And now it would bring new life. Something beautiful had begun again. Jason sat quietly on the porch, watching the stars. It was late, and the sky above Solar was clear and bright. He could hear Ilera inside, humming a soft tune. Her voice was gentle, filled with peace. Life had changed again. Ilera was carrying their child. The news had surprised them both, but also brought deep joy. The doctors had confirmed it. The baby was strong and healthy, a mix of human and Anarian, a new beginning. Jason still remembered the first time he met her, lying hurt in the wreckage. Now, she was full of life and light. He smiled at the memory. Inside the house, Ilera moved slowly. Her steps were careful, but her face was calm. She was glowing more than ever. The bond between them had grown stronger. Sometimes they didn't need words. A glance, a touch, and they understood each other. One day, a ship arrived at the Solara station. It carried an envoy from the Anarian Empire. This time, they came not to fight, but to talk. Ilera and Jason met with them in a small hall. The envoy was an older woman with silver hair and deep eyes. She looked at Ilera and bowed. "Princess," she said, "we come in peace. We bring a message from the council." Jason stayed close, watching. "They wish to see you, not to judge, but to understand. They know of the sickness. They know you helped save many lives." Ilera was quiet for a moment. I will go, she said. But Jason must come with me. The envoy agreed. Of course. You are one now. They traveled together to the Anarian homeworld. It was beautiful, with golden skies and tall towers that floated in the air. Jason had never seen anything like it. The people watched them with curious eyes. Some looked with wonder, others with fear. But no one stopped them. At the center of the city, they met the council. The room was large and round, with light coming from the floor and walls. The council members wore long robes and spoke in calm voices. Ilara told them everything, about the crash, the bond, the sickness, the cure, and the child growing inside her. The council listened. When she finished, there was silence. Then the oldest member stood up. We were afraid of change, he said. But fear must not rule us. You are no longer just our princess. You are something new. Another member added, the child you carry may be the bridge we lost long ago. We offer peace and a place in our hearts. Jason held Ilara's hand. She smiled at him, her eyes full of hope. They stayed on the planet for a few weeks. Ilara spoke with the people, visited old places from her childhood, and helped open new talks between humans and Andarians. Jason helped the scientists understand the cure. He taught them how the bond had worked, even if he didn't fully understand it himself. They called him a hero, but he didn't feel like one. He just felt lucky. Back on Solara, they prepared for the baby. A special house was built for them, with soft lights and peaceful gardens. People from different worlds sent gifts and messages. Ilara's belly grew, and so did their excitement. Jason read stories to the baby each night. Ilara laughed and told him, the baby can hear you. I can feel it moving. But one evening, Ilara grew quiet. She felt a sharp pain and sat down. Jason rushed to her side. The doctors came quickly. They said the birth was starting early. Too early. Jason's heart raced. He held Ilara's hand as she lay on the bed. Her eyes were full of both fear and strength. Whatever happened, she said, stay with me. Always, Jason said. Hours passed. The room was quiet, except for the soft voices of the doctors. Then, at last, the baby cried. Jason saw the child for the first time. Small, glowing slightly, with soft blue eyes and warm skin. A perfect mix. The doctor smiled. She is healthy. A strong little girl. Jason kissed Ilara's forehead. You did it. Ilara looked at the baby and whispered, welcome, little star. Their child was the first of her kind. A new hope for both worlds. And in that moment, Jason knew their journey had only just begun. The sun rose slowly over the hills of Solara. A soft breeze passed through the trees. Birds sang in the garden. Inside their small home, Jason and Ilara sat quietly, watching their newborn daughter sleep. Her name was Lyra. She had Jason's warm skin and Ilara's glowing eyes. She was peaceful, sleeping in a round cradle made by local artists. A soft blue light surrounded her, just like the one that had once filled the ancient cave. Jason had never felt so full of love. He watched Ilara gently stroke Lyra's hair. Ilara smiled, looking stronger every day. Her body was still healing, but her heart was full. She is a new beginning, Ilara whispered. For us, Jason said, and for everyone. In the weeks after Lyra's birth, messages came from many places. Leaders from Earth and the Anarian Empire sent their congratulations. They wanted to meet Lyra. They wanted to learn how a child like her was possible. But Jason and Ilara were careful. They allowed only a few trusted people to visit. They wanted Lyra to grow in peace, not in the middle of attention and politics. One day, an invitation came from the Council of Worlds, a new group formed by both humans and Andarians. The Council wanted Jason and Ilara to speak. They hoped their story could guide future peace talks. Jason was unsure. We aren't leaders, he said. We're just people who got lucky. Ilara looked at him. No, we are people who made a choice. We helped each other. That is something the world needs to hear. So they agreed. They left Lyra with Carla, the kind engineer who had once helped them escape. Carla had become like family. At the council hall, many people waited. Leaders, scientists, reporters, and even children came to hear their story. Jason stood first. He told him about the crash, the blood donation, the bond, and the dangers they faced. He spoke simply from the heart. People listened in silence. Then Alara spoke. Her voice was calm but powerful. She told him about fear, about being called impure, about nearly losing everything, and how love and trust had saved her. "We did not plan this," she said. "We did not expect to fall in love or have a child. But it happened, and it showed us that peace is not a dream. It is a choice." When they finished, the room was quiet. Then one by one, people stood and clapped. Some even cried. After the speech, many came to talk. Some wanted to help build schools that taught both cultures. Others wanted to study the bond, to see if it could be shared. Jason and Alara said yes to some and no to others. They didn't want their child to become an experiment. They only wanted her to live a good life. Months passed. Lyra grew quickly. She could sit up early, and her eyes followed lights that no one else could see. Sometimes she would hum songs no one had taught her. Alara believed the energy from the ancient cave still lived in Lyra. Jason just knew she was special. One evening, they walked together under the stars. Lyra sat in a sling across Jason's chest. Alara held his hand. "Do you think others like her will be born?" Jason asked. "I hope so," Alara said. "Not just born, but accepted, loved." They sat on a rock and looked at the sky. A bright star shot across, leaving a trail of light. "Do you ever wonder why it was us?" Jason asked. Alara smiled. "Because you gave your blood to a stranger. Because I trusted you. That is where it all began." Jason nodded. "And look where we are now." Behind them, their home glowed softly. Inside, lights danced on the walls. The garden was full of flowers, gifts from many worlds. Lyra opened her eyes and looked up at the stars. She reached one tiny hand toward the sky. Jason kissed her head. "Maybe one day you'll go farther than we ever did." Alara leaned against him. She will know where she came from. She will know love." And so, the man who gave his blood to save a dying alien girl now held their child in his arms. A child of two worlds. A child of peace. Their story was not one of war or power. It was a story of hope. A story that would be told for generations. And somewhere deep in the stars, that story continued to grow.